1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hello, my name's Calamative Joe. Welcome to the Minecraft stream. I'm sat here, I think, neath a spreading chestnut tree where I'm sat on my knee. All I know is I'm playing Minecraft. Hello, welcome to the stream. All I'm gonna do is count. I'm gonna crash into this window, though. I don't know how I've done that. I've crashed into the window. I can't see if there's anyone watching the stream. Hello, Killer Zombie 570. Welcome to the stream. I couldn't see if there was anyone in the stream watching the stream, but apparently there is, so hello. Let's take the elite off so we don't glide about the place. Or we don't fall over and then use it again. Welcome to the stream. We did stream earlier on, but I sort of ended the stream because I was going to go and do some exercise. So I went on a 4.5 mile walk. That was nice. Do I remember you? Yes, you were in my stream literally a couple of days ago. 2 days ago, I think 2 days ago, 3 days ago. I remember I remember most people that enter that watch these streams. Honestly, for me to not remember someone, they must have had to have not been on the stream in like 5 years. Here we go. Why was I? Oh, I know. Need some wood for a door. I need to go and get a door so we on the glass house we made this morning. Yeah, I need something there. I haven't put the Discord link in. Right, let's just quickly go and do that. We've had 2,000 comments on this stream in recent days. 2,000 comments. That's on these streams in the last couple of days. Oh, I can't do it because the emoji thing's got in the way. There we go. Pin message to the stream. We've had. I can't even remember what that says. By the way, I have a question. Yes, what's your question? That's where the doors. That's where doors are. They're here. What door are we going to use? No, Minecraft. That's not possible. Minecraft Legacy is the old console edition. Basically, Minecraft Legacy was its own thing, and there was no crossplay. Bedrock is the new Minecraft version for console edition. Basically, is basically Minecraft Pocket Edition on Xbox, Switch, and Switch, PlayStation 4. Basically, it replaced Legacy Console Edition. We've just put the door in. What do you guys think of this house? What do you guys think of the little glass house? What do you guys think of it? Think of this crazy little build we built this morning. We were like, what should we build? We were like, yeah, let's just build a house out of glass. Can we see the snow globe? You can. The snow globe's there, but then you can even live in it. We can live in this, which is nice. Now, and it fit in here. We didn't have to change anything. Basically the path does actually separate here. The path does actually split here, and we found a natural 5 block gap, and I thought that's brilliant. The house is actually 5 by 5. Well, the walls are 5 by 5. Um, sorry, different itchy nose. Hay fever. It's starting to spread. Yeah, Legacy Console Edition is basically the old Minecraft Console Edition before Bedrock come in and replaced it. But most people don't. Most people want Legacy Console Edition back because they feel that Legacy Console Edition ran better and was. Which I am one of those people that agree. I think Legacy was smoother. Someone said to me recently, but the lag's not as bad now. It's not, but then the graphics are still very jaunty. When did I start playing Minecraft? I started playing Minecraft on the Pocket Edition on a tablet back in 2014. So I started playing Minecraft 11 years ago. So I've been playing Minecraft now for 11 years. Long time. Long time. That's when you were born. What, 2014? That's surprising because you're not meant to be on YouTube at under 13, which is interesting. Because YouTube is can't be regulated. That surprised me. You see that a lot now, to be honest. Everybody, you see that a lot nowadays with YouTube. I had someone on my stream the other week. I think they were like 8 years old, and I'm like, I didn't feel comfortable. The fact that there was someone who was 8 years old on my stream. Because YouTube, the problem is now that YouTube keeps trying to be like a TV channel, and it's getting young kids now watching YouTube, even though YouTube says to use the service and use doesn't is not upload but uses watch as watch as well. But yeah, YouTube shouldn't is not actually meant to be watched by anyone over the age of 13, under the age of 13. It's interesting. That's something I feel passionate about. I'm promoting a book at the moment. I'm promoting a book at the moment, and I made my book. I promote a book that I wrote on this channel, and that's over 13 upload. I don't upload. I know, but that's something that's been I've been a bit nervous about recently. Is I've been promoting a book on my channel that I wrote, and it says 13. The book is for people 13 years and up, and I've been really nervous about people under the age of 13 buying it. And but my justification for that also is my thing is if some my sort of thing is if someone how are you? I'm very good. How are you, Frostbite? Welcome to the stream. Yeah, hello Frostbite, welcome to the stream. Yeah, I have many supporters. Yeah, I know that's understand what I'm saying. YouTube, no one should be watching YouTube under the age of 13. So I've been pretty nervous about my book promotion on YouTube. I've been a little nervous about my book promotion on YouTube, thinking, are people under the age of 13 watching my stuff? But my justification is if someone under the age of 13 buys my book, then technically it's their fault because technically it's their fault because YouTube is not for children. And I don't even think YouTube Kids should exist. I don't think YouTube Kids should exist either because I'm like, well, it just tells people it's for kids. There's children's channel, yeah, but there's a reason for that, Frostbite. Because kids are going onto YouTube now either way. Kids are going onto YouTube now either way. So the traditional TV channels are having to put their stuff on YouTube in the hope that kids will watch it because they can't pay all kids TV channels, for example, on at genuine TVs. They have to upload it to there now because they're not going to get money because kids aren't watching YouTube. So kids aren't watching traditional children's TV channels anymore. So if they upload it to YouTube, they still get paid. People still kids watch it. They still get paid, and they can still produce more TV. But really, YouTube should be a bit more harsh on the. It's also as well. especially in the UK, there's a there's Ofcom and Ofcom regulate. Okay, I've learned something. Yeah, there's a thing in the UK called Ofcom, and basically Ofcom regulate TV in the UK, and they basically decide if it can go on TV. And basically, like children's TV channels, they have to regulate what children can see on TV and all that. And for example, there's stuff on YouTube that kids are seeing that Ofcom would not allow on TV, and all TV regulators across the world. Yeah, I know that. I also live in the UK in Wales. Yeah, but Ofcom can't regulate YouTube. Ofcom can't regulate YouTube because YouTube is not a legitimate TV and it's not a legitimate TV thing. But also, people can upload their own stuff to YouTube because you don't know what these kids are watching. Yeah. You can't regulate TV YouTube. So someone on my stream the other day, I think they were like 12 or something like that. They went, you can watch YouTube at any age, and you can't. The problem is, as well, yeah, the problem I have with when I upload nowadays is like I had someone on my stream last week comment on my stream last week. I had someone comments, "Oh, stop saying bad words." I'm like, but I'm over the age of 20. If I want to swear on a stream, I can swear on a stream. And in this comment I got on the stream, I'm like, if you, I think because YouTube, if you're meant to be 13, if you're using YouTube, watching things on YouTube, you're meant to be 13 years and over. I think at 13 you should be able to handle swear words. So I've said to someone on a stream a couple of weeks ago, I said I'm never going to blacklist swear words from my YouTube channel because at 13 you should be able to handle swear words. But I don't get why young people think they can go on YouTube and go and stuff like that. Chicken jockey. Why is that? I don't get why that's become such a meme. This is just brain rot now. It's just brain rot now with like memes. Fair, it's their fault. They're children. They should be able to take in swear words. Yeah. But also, yeah, TikTok's 13 as well. TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, they're all 13. All of them are 13. Hello, Stan. Welcome to the stream. But yeah, all of them are 13, but parents ignore it now. So there was a case in the UK a couple of I know, yeah. Um, but there was a case in the UK. Um, you might have heard of it, the Archie Battersby case. This was back 2, 3 years ago. Um, I'm also a content creator. Cool. Yeah, there was the Archie Battersby case a couple of years ago when basically they found him dead and they thought he did an online challenge, but he died after X amount of time in hospital. Um, it's really sad. It's very sad what happened to him. But the mother should never blame the social media sites because they can't regulate what goes on to the social media sites. The mother turned around and claimed, "Oh, these sites are putting stuff up which is not for kids." But her child should never have been on social media in the first place. Her child should never have been on social. It's the kids again, yeah. Her child should never have been on social media in the first place because he was under 13. But also, you can't stop people from uploading stuff to YouTube. Oh, things which aren't for kids shouldn't be on there. But then the internet's not for kids. I love a YouTube channel called Raka Raka. Basically, they've just brought out their own movie. They did a film called Talk to Me a couple of years ago, and that did really well at the box office. So they're now making their own films. But they started out as a practice using YouTube. The guidance laws, yeah. This channel called Raka Raka, they've been banned from filming on YouTube because parents moaned about how gory their videos were. And basically their videos were like short films. It wasn't actually gory. It was fake blood. It was fake blood, fake people. And they got banned from uploading to YouTube, told they couldn't upload anymore, and they had to re go and do everything. And yeah, for example, everybody, their justification was, well, these children shouldn't be on the site anyway, so whose fault is it? And it's kind of true, isn't it? Sorry, but I've got to go soon. It's all right. Thank you for joining the live stream. I'll see you in the next one. But yeah, it's not so you can't keep blaming social media for what goes on there. You should be blaming the kids that are watching stuff what are on something that they shouldn't be. It's like back in 2020 when Squid Game took off. There were kids playing it in the games from Squid Game in the school playing fields. And for example, parents were saying they might have watched Squid Game, but it's not for kids, and yet they still watched it. But I just think I think it's ridiculous. But I think the problem is parents. They said nowadays parents act like kids and the kids act like parents. Well, no, parents act like children and the kids act like adults. They basically think they run the show. I got on the bus. This is just a side rant. I got on the bus last year about 2 or 3 years ago, and all these young school kids got on the bus, and we kept hearing noises on the bus like whoosh, 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 whoosh. It was only kids going up and slashing all the seats on the back of the bus and ripping upstairs. As I said, there's just no discipline. There's just no discipline and behaviour stuff's gone up now. But yeah, all we could hear on the bottom of the bus was, and it was kids just ripping the seats up upstairs. And that's just it's very bizarre. Yeah, end of rant. End of the side rant. But yeah, all I could hear was some people ripping the seats up. I was just like, why would you get on a bus? Why would you get on a bus and then just rip up all the seats? Yeah, but yeah, why? But honestly, everybody, just I don't get why people do it. If we land on, hold on, if we land, yeah, that's very true. Fragrance, welcome to the stream. But yeah, the thing that I was mentioning before about, because I had someone just now in the stream say that they basically say that when I started playing Minecraft, that was when they were born, and basically, so I brought up about how YouTube nowadays, there's people watching it are under the age of 13. But yeah, the amount of stuff that's you see now of kids watching stuff they shouldn't is ridiculous. But yeah, the story of the bus, yeah, all you could hear was I honestly, I just don't get it. I honestly, everybody, I just don't understand it. Why would you get on a bus, a place that's taking you to where you go? You're paying to be on there. You're paying to be on there for it to take you, and then you're ripping all the seats up. Why? I wouldn't say it's people being soft on the kids. I would say it's people not caring enough. I felt it. I feel like it's been going that for years. So, for example, when I was in my last year of secondary, second from last, no, third, my um one of my last years of secondary school, when I was in year 9 in the UK, that's when you sit down and you pick your GCSEs. The GCSEs were perfect. One kid, it didn't match his plans of what he wanted to do when he was older. So his mum basically convinced the school to turn around and redo it and redraw the subject list, and it basically fucked everybody else up, and that's bad. That's bad. That's being too soft. So my plans, and then the teacher that was reorganised it turned around and said to me, "Oh yeah, there was too many things wrong with that." That's when I said to this person, I said to the teacher, I went, "There was nothing wrong with it." I said it was one person, but it was one person. I said it was one or two people, and yeah, they forced us to redo it, and basically everything that I wanted to do got put in the same thing, so I couldn't do some of the stuff I wanted to do, which screws everyone else. Yes, yes, yeah, 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 yeah. And obviously the kid that it is the kid that it was that his mother was quite up herself. His mum was quite up herself, so obviously, for example, um, thought the sun shines out his ass, like thought he could do no wrong. So because it wasn't wrong for him, honestly, that was it. As soon as she mentioned something, they changed it, and it suited the few, not the many. And I'm still angry about this. I'm still angry about this 9 years later, everybody, because everything I wanted to do, basically, it screwed me over. I had to beg my head teacher to let me do. My head teacher, luckily, was a real nice guy, and he basically he was willing to switch something just for me, because basically everything I wanted to do, they put it all in the same thing. And yeah, talking of this story, everybody, I was forced to, I didn't get I was livid. And talking of which, my parents had a moan about it afterwards. So when they forced it back around, when they forced us to redo them, my teacher started dictating what I could and couldn't do. But I wanted to do history and I wanted to do drama, so that's when they decided to go and stick those into the same assignment. And I wanted to do drama, and no, history was on by itself. I wanted to do drama, and then they turned around and they put something called, what was it? They put history, and I could either do drama or history, because you could either one of them was in a different assignment, was in a different band. One of them was in a different band, but they decided I needed intervention, so I was asked to pick between history or drama, and I I had to make a decision, and I hated it. And it ended up, obviously, I said to my parents about it, and they were livid, because the two subjects I liked and generally wanted to do, I reckon they did that just for me. I reckon they did that just I reckon they did that just to annoy me. And I didn't like the math. Honestly, I'm gonna be honest, guys. I didn't like the maths teacher. I didn't like the maths teacher that did it, and I think he knew that I didn't like him. So I think he did that. So I think he basically turned around and put those in the same one to turn around and I think the maths teacher turned around and did that just as a, but but needless to say, I got my way and I did history and drama, and the intervention thing got dropped at the door. But I think that's wrong. What's the point of asking students what do you want to do for your GCSEs in the UK if you're going to turn around and tell them what they're doing? Oh, you need your interventions, and I felt that was rude. I mean, it is rude, isn't it? Really, that's I take that as, oh, you need your interventions because you're thick. I actually, and honestly, everybody, I still think that to this day. I think that's I think that's rude. Shoots, there's three creepers there. Score system is skewed for those who are lagging. It's the other way in the UK. It's the other way. It's the complete other way in the UK. Um, if they're lagging, you need help. If they're lagging, they need help. Probably, most likely, they need help. Oh, no, it's not good. I didn't. I got stuck, so right. Let's go down here. Don't you hit me. Right, we're going to repair this. We'll repair this soon because I don't think we've picked up enough blue wall or stuff to even go and attempt picking that. No student left behind. Flip that. But that's a good policy. I don't like. I mean, I don't like any of America's presidents because I'm British. I especially don't like I especially don't like the new one that seems to like putting tariffs on every country for some bizarre reason. Um, which tariffs are the stupidest thing in history. That there's no purpose of them. Humanity is king. Yeah. So let's just. Why am I struggling to walk? There we go. Yeah. So, for example, in the UK, it's very much leave the struggling kid, leave the struggling kid. Um, so much leave the struggling kid, focus on the excelling, if you get what I mean. Anyone here British? I know Red X 101 is. Um, but I have no idea. Too true, but yeah, forget the struggling kid, focus on the one that's excelling. Yeah. So for example, um, I'm going to give an example. I take it you would have done GCSEs, Red X 101. Oh, what is a sen? What is a sen? Sorry, I'm forgetting what they are. So what is a sen? Sorry, I can't remember what they are. I haven't been in special kids. How they have those in every schools, don't they? What do you call them? What do they call them? Senkos. Um, that's isn't that if you're struggling in classes as well? If you're struggling to learn, and struggling in classes. I mean, I haven't been in school. I left school. I mean, I'll admit, I left school 6 years ago. I left school 6 years ago in 2 months. So, isn't Sen when you sometimes when you're struggling to learn things? I think because I think I was one of those. They call it a my plan system, report system. I think I had to go and speak to a lady once a month, and I thought it was absolutely stupid. Hello, David Jackson. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, for example, that's interesting. Yeah, basically though, fragrance. What I mean is, in the UK, it's very much. In the UK, It's very much. Forget the struggling kid. Focus on the. Focus on the struggling. Focus on the selling kid. So, for example, for example, I was struggling. I did a. What was it? I had four maths teachers in my last year of school. I had four maths teachers in my last year of school. One of them effed off. The other one decided to quit. One broke one broke an ankle, which fair play, he came back eventually. And then the science teacher started teaching us as well. Although they were actually my science teacher, so they were actually my science teacher in Gemma as well. So they sort of knew what I was like. But there was another school nearby, another secondary school, and the head of maths brought in expert maths teachers to offer some interventions. So basically, we found out that they brought in these maths teachers to interventions, and they didn't give the struggling. I was in the bottom set maths, and basically we found out in a class halfway through a tutor group. There was two of us in my tutor group, and we were sat there like, why are we the only two people in here? Why are we the only two people in here? And we found out in this is my year 11 tutor group. There was only two of us in there, and we found out because they'd got intervention classes for every single class bar my class. So, for example, they did it in the middle of my history class. So my history teacher went absolutely berserk because she found out at lunchtime about this maths intervention, and she found out that I was the only person that was going to be in the class. And then it sort of came out afterwards that yeah, oh, why is he the only one here? Oh, because he's the bottom set maths, and they didn't give us an intervention. And the teacher said to me, so I asked my the lady that was covering my tutor class, because there was only two of us there, said to us, said to this maths teacher, why have they all got intervention and you got two people here? Oh yeah, their class should have had one, but they broke their leg, so she never turned up. And we were like, well, why did you give the top? We were like, why did you give the top set one then? We were like, why did you give the top set one and not the bottom set? Oh yeah, but it's not as if you've been left behind. And we were like, no, it is because you've left us behind. And even the lady that was covering our tutor session, because our actual tutor was in a maths class, said to us, she went, yes, they have left you behind. And she actually thought it was horrible. She thought it was disgusting. That she thought it was absolutely disgusting. That um, basically they just decided to let the bottom class fail. And it got to this history class. I was sat in a history class. I couldn't be taught anything. And it ended up the history and geography class got put in one room because there was only seven of us, and it was all of us from the same maths class, which that is wrong. So basically, from what I got from that, and I still do today, that they just decided to let us fail. They made a conscious decision that we were I think they made a conscious decision to just let us fail, which I think is beyond wrong. And I'm 100% convinced on that. What do you guys think of that? What do you guys think of that story? That's unbelievably shocking, isn't it? I'm convinced my secondary school turned around and said that, turned around and just decided to let us fail. That's interesting. Yeah, no. But in my case, in my case, the whole school was struggling, and in my last year of school, they just turned around and decided to let us fail. So I'm convinced they just let us fail just because why not? Oh, these people won't amount to anything, so let them fail. And I'm 100% convinced to this day that's what they were doing. But that's beyond wrong. That's what I feel anyway. I feel that that's beyond wrong. But that was the point. What I said, Fragrance, is basically they did give mass help classes, but they gave it to the kids that didn't need it. But the kids that did need help in math classes, they sort of left them there. And I'm convinced that's what they were trying to do. And this lady that was covering my tutor class said, "I'm convinced." She said, "I'm convinced that's what they're doing." And the actual line that we were gave was, "I think this is make the smartest smarter and leave the unintelligent." Which, well, I was like, that's just wrong, 100%. Yeah, it is messed up. It's one of those. I don't think differently, if you get what I mean. But I was just in the class because I was just in this class because I struggled to pick it up quickly. But yeah, it's well, especially in the UK. Well, especially in the UK, the education system's in flames because nowadays they can't decide what to teach people anymore, and then people moan about what they're teaching them. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely silly. I don't know why this topic got brought up. Oh, the topic got brought up because of when I said about people, how bad young people are on YouTube now. Oh, that was what I was saying. Yeah. Oh, talking of which, everybody, it is because of YouTube and things like that. So I saw a thing a couple of years ago about there was a foot in America you'll call it soccer, but in the UK we in most of the rest of the world we call it football. Um, there was a player called Wilfred Zaha. He used to play for Crystal Palace. Are you playing real Minecraft? Yes, I'm playing Legacy Console Edition. Yeah. Um, there was a player called Wilfred Zaha who used to play for the English Premier League club Crystal Palace. 12-year-olds sent him pictures of the KKK. And why does a 12-year-old know what that is at 12 years old? So that's the thing. That's the problem with YouTube now. Is they said there's things that aren't for kids on YouTube, and that it's not. But YouTube's not meant to be for kids. So why does a 12-year-old think it's acceptable to turn around and send a professional football player images of the KKK? That's wrong. But also, the 12-year-old kid obviously sent racist stuff towards him as well, even more racist stuff towards him. But I wouldn't dream of doing that. I wouldn't dream of doing that as an adult, let alone 12 years old. Why would you just? There's got to be something wrong there. I remember seeing it on the TV a few years ago. I'm thinking, what is wrong with people in 2000 and in this time frame? What is people wrong? What is wrong with people in? It was 2020. A 12-year-old boy is extremely remorseful over racist messages sent to Crystal Palace forward Wilfred Zaha. That was in 2020 then, so it was 5 years ago. But why? I honestly I don't get it. That that is true, and I've said that before to someone, not like what Mike Tyson said, but I said this. I said the problem is nowadays, 20 years, 30 years ago, if you wanted to turn around and bully someone, you had to turn around and do it in their face. And I said, so if you're trying to bully, say you're trying to, someone's put in a random height, someone put in just a random, they don't want to face music per se, yeah. Someone put in a random height, like, for this example, someone put in a random height for this example I'm going to use. We're going to make the example as we go. 180 centimeters, what's that? That's about 5'11". So, say you've got Roger here. So we're going to call him Roger. Say you've got Roger here. He's 5'11". Someone's obviously bullying him on social media. And say it's Steve here, and Steve is, I don't know, 5'6". Let's 5'5". Let's say Steve's 5'5" and he's 165. Name a car for an edit. Um, Volvo. I don't know. Um, I don't Renault. There we go. I don't know. You said you didn't say name a model of the car. You said name a car. So I said I named a car brand. For example, so I'm going to go back to the previous thing I was mentioning. So say you've got Roger. He's 180 centimeters. As he's being bullied by Steve, who's, I don't know, 5'5". What's 5'5"? 164 centimeters. 165. Well, we've got Steve, 165 centimeters. Um, Basically, um, so Steve. 30 years ago, if Steve wanted to bully Roger, keep yapping. Yeah, so 30 years ago, if Steve wanted to bully Roger, Steve would have to do it to his face. But Roger's probably 200. Roger's probably 14 stone, 5'11". Steve is probably 120 pounds. I don't know, probably about 10 stone, 5'5". Roger, if he stands in front of Roger and goes and bullies him, Roger's just going to turn around and lift him. Is just going to put his hands around his throat and lift him and drop him, or give him a punch, because Roger's much taller than him, much bigger. So Steve isn't going to go and bully Roger, is he? Steve is not going to go and bully Roger in person because he's not. He's going to be too much of a wimp to. He knows that he's going to get punched by someone much bigger. But come forward 30 years. Oh, you can now bully people online and you not know it's you. Yeah, you can't fight back if they're anonymous. If you get what I mean, that's the so Mike Tyson, for example. Mike Tyson's what, 5'10", 16 stone, but back in the day, I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't honestly. I wouldn't want to take a. I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want to take a punch from Iron Mike. Would you? The problem is, yeah, you could just bully people online now. So basically, it's avenues are open for anyone to turn around and bully someone. Whereas you had to actually, if you wanted to bully someone 20 years ago, 25 years ago, you had to do it in person. And in person, it's a bit different. Fine, keep yapping. All right, I will keep yapping. There we go. Um, but yeah, what do you guys think on that? Do you guys like my example? Yeah, people don't want to face the music, but also, you know, if you're gonna bully someone, um, there was a guy, there was a guy in my school year that him and somebody had a spat online, and basically one guy was bullying the other one, and the difference with online, you can ignore and make it easier to not put thought to it, but in person it's more personal now. It's which it sticks more. But yeah, but for example, I'm gonna use myself as an example. I'm gonna use myself as an example. I'm fairly short. I'm about 5'9", which technically is average. It's not short, but why would I bully if it was 30 years ago? Why would you try and bully someone that's much taller than you? Because you could get hit out. The problem is that that had been the same for hundreds of years. You wouldn't bully someone that was overly bigger than you. You wouldn't bully spot you just and so no one would bully you. No one that was it's if so say if you're shorter, say someone's shorter than you wouldn't bully they wouldn't bully you. Oh, that's great. That's great. In America's zero no what? Zero tolerance is a good idea. I think zero tolerance is a good idea, but only when it's actually used properly. Hit enter while typing. That's all right. I mean I've done that before to people. Um, I need some dark oak to replace that, but we'll fix that we'll fix that later. Yeah. For example, guy in my school year, who was in my school year, he had a spat with someone, and the other guy said, "I'm going to break your back." And basically, he turned up and said, "Break my back," and the guy stepped forward to fight him and got beat up. And I was just sat there thinking, I was sat there thinking, I was sat there thinking, well, why did he turn around and message him online and act all cocky? And act all cocky because he's turned up and had a knock to the head. Um, But also, yeah, it's on that point. Yeah, some people they don't think about what they say online, and they think they can just get away with it. They think they can get away with it because it's online. But yeah, there we go. Look, if you didn't start the conflict at the end, and if you were punished, and if you didn't do anything other than pin, you're still punished. But then I kind of like zero tolerance, but sometimes zero tolerance is stupid. Um, so there was a girl in my school. Yeah, she punched her boyfriend in an argument because he was ignoring her. He was they'd had a bit of an argument, and he was ignoring her because she was being rude to him. So she swung and punched him. But all the schoolgirls thought, well, she thought she should get away with it because she was a girl, and she didn't. She got detention for isolation for punching him, but they thought he should get something for ignoring her. But that should be why should he get? But you got to think though, why should this guy get anything? And he didn't get anything, which is that's why zero tolerance worked perfectly because he didn't get anything because all he did was ignore her. All he did was ignore her and ignore her, and she went ballistic. This girl went ballistic and swung for him. Huh? For all these girls thought this girl should get away with it because she was a girl. But why? Why should she? Why should she get away with it? Because she punched someone. But what did he do? Nothing. All he did was ignore her. But then there are some times where zero tolerance just doesn't work. Yeah. 20, 30 years ago, a teacher could hit a student. If it's 30 years ago, especially in the UK, they've got rid of it now. But if you were naughty, if you were naughty, a teacher could pull out a wooden stick, a wooden cane, and hit you with it. And that worked. You got to think though, that did work. It did work. It worked. It did. It taught people discipline. Oh, I shouldn't do that. Problem is though, the problem is nowadays, everybody, is that they don't have they don't have legal things. So basically, there's nothing they can do. Well, there is things they can do. You shouldn't hit. They shouldn't hit them. They shouldn't do this. But nowadays, children just think they can get away with it. So it happened in 2020 when COVID happened in 2020. I agree. It's how it's used. Yeah, there were in 2020 in 2020 when when there was COVID, a young boy he went up to the chief medical scientist for the government and basically accused him of lying to the nation over COVID, and he was there spitting at him. And basically, they wanted him people wanted him prosecuted because he should have been because you shouldn't spit at people in public, but especially in a pandemic. And basically, instead of charging him, he just got reprimanded by his mother, and his mother turned around and said in an interview she did, she went, "Oh yeah, I'm not." She put it on social media saying, "Yeah, it was my son. I'm not gonna punish you. I'm not gonna punish him because he's already been punished enough. by this COVID pandemic, and he couldn't see his friends. I'm like, who gives a damn? He spat at someone in public in a pandemic. I mean, that should have been if he'd been an adult, that would have been a prison sentence. 'Cause a guy in the UK went to prison for that. He spat at, he had COVID, got angry with a security officer, so he spat at him. And because this guy generally had COVID, and this guy went, "I've got COVID," spat at him, and he actually went to prison for murder because the guy died of COVID out. The guy caught COVID and died from it. So they turned around and said it was murder because obviously he spat. This guy spitting at him, he spat COVID onto him, which killed him. So they actually sent the guy to prison for that. It is interesting, but yes, this young kid, he actually got away with it a little bit there. Here we go. Just read down the path. What do you guys think? This guy accused the government's chief medical officer in COVID of lying to the nation. You lie, what was it? You lied to the nation, and he filmed himself doing it. And it's not as if he loops around him on his skateboard once. He keeps looping around him and accusing him of lying and lying and lying. There was intent. The guy wanted to spread it, and the kid didn't. He just felt disrespected. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But the kid did spit at him. And the parent went, "Oh yeah, I'm not going to punish him. I'll just because he's already been punished enough by the pandemic." Like, who cares? He still disrespected someone in public and spat at them. But then you see things all the time. And also the COVID pandemic was a time in national time of people coming together. I wouldn't say people being too caring. I think it's people don't. I wouldn't say that, to be honest. I'd say that's completely the opposite. It's about people caring too much. It's about people not caring enough. So, um, so this happened recently. This was a couple of years ago, but somebody went through an abandoned building near somewhere in the UK, and basically the floor caved in. Basically, where the floor caved in, and the parents wanted to sue the people that own the building. And really, it should have been like, well, why did your kid go in? Why did your kid break into an abandoned building? Which is which you shouldn't go in abandoned buildings because obviously there's asbestos on the roof, which is poisonous. Um, I wouldn't say it comes from being too caring. You can't be too caring. You cannot care enough. It's about people that don't care enough. So there was a quote in a film I was watching about people not caring. Nowadays, people don't care about their country. They don't care about any. They care about what they. Everyone has a phone and an agenda. For example, there was an incident last year in the UK where a police officer kicked somebody at the airport in the head. He shouldn't have kicked him, but they absolutely wanted the officer sacked. People wanted the officer sacked because it was caught on camera. Yeah, I'm just using an example, Decepted. Basically, about people not caring and everyone having an agenda. There was an incident last year at Manchester Airport where a armed police officer, secure airport guard, kicked someone in the back of the head. and everyone wanted him sacked. But the CCTV came out, and the CCTV came out. The guy he kicked had broken the noses of two female officers, launched a horrific assault on the officer that kicked him. He'd absolutely pummeled the shit into him. So really, he rather than saying it was monstrous for him to get kicked, he was actually lucky not to have been shot because the airports, the police have to be a lot stricter at the airports because of people arriving in and out the country. Um, because you've got to be careful that people aren't bringing, bombs or weapons in or taking weapons out. You've got to be very careful. So I think this guy should not be about, oh, this officer is racist. It should be about, I was lucky, I wasn't shot, I wasn't shot, I wasn't shot. If you get what I mean. Because I think the officer really should have had an apology because he got he had his face smashed in. They were trying to arrest somebody, and this guy just come in and just absolutely battered the shit out of him. And the officer shouldn't have kicked him. The officer shouldn't have kicked him. But if he believed he was a threat, there's no discipline when people are young. I think this guy was in his late 20s, 30s, but they said what they were saying though is the police officer was an armed police officer. If he saw him as a potential threat, he had just cause to shoot him. It's an interesting example that I thought I'd use. But yeah, if the officer deemed he was that much of a threat, he could have shot him. So rather than go, oh, the officer's racist, it should actually be that that guy should turn around and look at that and go, I'm lucky to have only been kicked there and not shot. Where did my cat come from? The cat hasn't been following us at all. I can see I've got Discord messages. I will be back in 2 seconds. I'm just doing the blinds. Yeah, okay, yeah, that's true. Well, actually, I'm gonna put this on their fragrance. I don't think that guy would have left the I don't think that guy would have left the airport. Um, me and Decepted, ironically, who just joined the chat just now. Me and Deceptive were talking about the Manchester airport incident, and we said if this was New York, if this was America, if that happened in America, I don't think he'd have left the hospital. I don't think he'd have left the airport alive. I think he would have been shot. He would have been shot for attacking three police officers. Especially at an airport, you've got to be tougher because obviously you don't know who's coming in or out. But plus, why would you want to attack a police officer that is probably double your size? And plus, some of those police officers in America are absolute units. I saw a clip everyone about an American police officer the other day doing something. I had to kill. What hell? That creeper didn't spawn. Yeah. But you've got to be stricter at an airport. You've got to be stricter at an airport because obviously you don't know you don't know potentially who's entering. I'm seeing more mobs now than I was earlier on. But yeah, you don't know who's arriving at an airport. But plus, there's also more missed fire targets as well, yeah. I'll join VC in a minute, Decepted. I'm just trying to find my headphones. But yeah, like, plus some of those police officers are absolute units. If I look, I'm fairly short, so if I look at a police officer, I'm like, yeah, I don't want to be tackled by him. Why do some people just want the fight? I have no idea if Decepted's there. Also, with America, why do you call one of your last years of school freshmen? Because you're not fresh. You've been in school a long time. I've never understood that one about why American. I don't get why America. I don't get why America have such odd names for stuff. It's interesting. You're fresh into high school or secondary school. What year is that? What year is that in America? Because I think it's different in the UK. You, what year is that? No, I mean, what age would you be then? Because I think in the UK it's different. Um, what we're going to look at a second is yeah, I think it's different ages in the UK. Because obviously in the UK you finish school earlier, you don't go till 18. 14, 15, depending on month and year born. Um, oh, I've always wanted to know that actually, because someone said that to me. What? How is the American system done like that? Is it everybody born? Is everybody born from January to December? Everybody born from January 1st to December 31st in the same school year, or is it everybody from September to August and then August to then September to August and then September to August? It's interesting. I don't understand how it works because someone said to me that in something once, and I found it really interesting. What are we doing? There we go. Just getting my Joy Cons to work. Because in the UK it's different. If you're fresh into high school in the UK, secondary school starts at 11. You're literally 11, 12 when you start secondary school in the UK. Um, it's interesting. Because at 15, 16 in the UK, you've pretty much left. You're pretty much in your last year of school. You're pretty much in your last year of school if you in the UK because you go to 16. Hmm. Oh, my ear. There we go. Do. That's interesting. Some starting September. No, no, no. I meant how do they define what school year you're in? I meant how do they define? I meant how do they define what school you're in? So if you turn 5 within that, you can go into school. Same in the UK then. Pretty much. No, everybody in the UK. In the UK, everybody born from September to August is in one school year, and everybody born from August. So, for example, I was late 2002, so I was born in late 2002, so everybody born from September 2002 to August 2003 was all in the same school year. And then everybody born from September 2001 to August 2002 was in the school year before. Hello, Angelina Safay. Welcome to the stream. But yeah, so that's how they do it. So I think you start school. So some people start school at 4, some people start the school at nearly 5. It's really weird. It's quite a weird system, but it works though. But you have a weird thing in the UK. I subscribe. Thank you. We're aiming to hit 5,400 subs by the end of this month. Um, yeah. So you have sort of a weird thing in the UK where someone that's born six, someone that's you have a weird thing in the UK that if someone's born 6 months earlier than you, you often say that they're a year older than you, but they're not. They're 6 months older than you because technically it feels like they're in a different school year because they were in a different school year than you, even though that six, they're born the same year as you. I've got my headphones on, Decepted. I thought I'd joined. I forgot to message you. Yeah, I forgot to join. There we go. Where is it? There we go. I'll join now. I forgot to join. Yeah, thank you. We're aiming to hit 10 likes on this stream. What's massive? What's that? Drinking a tea? You having cider and tea? Fucking hell. Someone's an alcoholic. You come back from the pub, you've had more cider, more drinks and a cup of tea. Fair play to you, lad. You're British. Fair play, you're British. No, it's not. So I meant to say after school start dates into Jan, you're not in this year, you're in the next. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, that's a weird way of doing it. What Fragrance just said about American schools in the live stream. Basically, everybody born after they got to start school at 5 years old. So if they if they turn 5 after an American school the day before school starts, and you were born the day after, and that you turn 5 the day after, are you in the same school year or are you in? Hmm, interesting. Of course he is. I think they can't hear you. No, they can't. Hello, team. Go, team, go. Team. Do. I just gonna quickly check our subscriber count, see how far we are from hitting the goal of 400. I don't know what it is at the moment, so let's just see what it is. I haven't burped. I just burped. Oh, bloody hell! We're at 5,317. Thank you, everybody. We're aiming to hit. Oh, I think if you're within the same month, then you might get in. Not sure. Yeah, that's interesting. Um, right, we are trying to get rid of this mountain at the same time. The moon is starting to go dark. The moon has appeared. I'm not talking about Deceptive's ass crack. That's a good. That was a good joke. That was a good pun. He's drinking wine and watching YouTube. There's a new one, so he can't join a Discord VC because he's watching wine and what he's watching wine and drinking YouTube. I nearly said that. That's kind of funny. Hold on, why he's watching? Is he a grand? Has he become a grandmother all of a sudden, drinking wine? Come on, darling, we're just gonna have one more wine before we go before and watch some YouTube. What are we gonna watch? Are we gonna watch? What are we gonna watch on YouTube? Right, with wine in one hand and a cigar in the other. We're gonna take we're gonna take a part of this mountain down while we're here. Hello everyone, welcome to the stream. We've only got 86. We've got 86 views on this stream. That's good. Let's hit 100. Let's hit 100 views on this stream. Can we hit 100 views on the stream? We're at 87. Why would you? Why? What's a bar? A barbecue doesn't make you act. A barbecue doesn't make you slushy. The barbecue makes you fat, does it? Or is it because you're turning 40? I'm joking. Probably. You're gonna start drinking wine and watching my YouTube streams. Cool. You're gonna do the Winston. You're gonna do Winston. You're gonna do the Winston Churchill. Drink a glass of port, a glass of wine, a glass of wine, glass of beer. he report. He reportedly used to drink a lot during the war. Oh, you did something to your accountant. Anyway, hello to the people who watch. What should we? Oh, where'd you get the hub from? Oh yeah, on the hub, and then you basically took the word prawn when we were talking about lobster and prawn, and then you've turned around and made it that creeper. I'm onto you, you bastard. No, he's dead. What? Do the Jet Black and start just randomly singing Minecraft things? Sword, shovel, stone blocks, flint and steel. I just don't get. I think he was a wrong. I think he was a wrong cast member for that film. Although I do actually like Jet Black, he is a good actor, but then I think he was just the wrong casting. Slime block. Um, Ninja jump. But I'm convinced he said something else. Especially in the. Oh, I said ninja jump, but I'm sure he said something else in that film. I think they need to edit the sound system for that one and clarify. Right, we're just going to put some of this down a second. I need some food. So, I'm going to cheat the system a bit, everybody. We're going to go down here. There should be a ladder. There should be a ladder right here. There's even a creeper that's decided to have no attention to me, but he's going to die anyway because I can't be bothered to kill him. So now we're going to go down here. There's a ladder right here. We're going to go down here. And we're going to go right down here. So, well, that was just completely stupid. Well, we can go to bed first, can't we? I didn't think of doing that. That was just an accidental. That was an accidental press. And then when we tried to stop, I just lost 30 XP levels because I accidentally pressed open elytra going down the ladder. So instead of going the ladder, we shot down the gap. Hmm. That wasn't my smartest. That weren't my smartest suggestion. Need. That's my cat. I thought it was a spider. Um. How did I think it was a spider? That's really bizarre. So yeah, it was a spider. I saw a spider coming. There was a great big spider after me, and all I did, if you go and watch my old, if you go and get, if you go watch my old Minecraft videos, I always used to mix up skeletons. When I saw a skeleton, I'd say spider. And when I saw spider, I say skeleton. Because I used to, if you go and watch some of my old Survival Legacy episodes, some of the originals, I used to accidentally call things. I used to accidentally muck up mistake spiders for skeletons. Not it wasn't intentional. I used to go, oh, I've got to kill this spider, and it was a skeleton. No, 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 no. Oh, you. Of course he won't. He's too busy doing something else. He will be on tonight, but he'll be doing something else. He'll be on. He'll be on someone tonight. Let's kill some. Let's kill some skeletons. Here we go. So a couple more of those. Slime block. Yeah, slime block. I have no idea. Anyway, we're going to quickly get away from here. We can't die. We're literally on half a heart. We can't die. Come on, let's get up. Good. We're literally on half a heart. We've got to get this ladder. Spin, 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 spin. Spin, 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 spin. Why are we here? Beneath this spreading chestnut tree where I held you on my knee. I don't know why I'm singing. Yeah. I did see that. No, but that was weeks ago. That got announced months ago. Honestly, new Minecraft doesn't feel like Minecraft. It's better, but it isn't. It is well. It's not better. They called it better together, but then I'm not feeling better, and I'm not together. I'm joking. Uh, no, Decepted. I am not lonely. Um, but yeah. That's very much true. I have multiple reasons why I hate Bedrock. Why I hate the new Minecraft. List them. All right, I will. All right, I will list them. List 10 of them. Well, Switch Edition never gets any of the beta previews anymore. We used to get all the betas. Now we haven't had Vibrant Visuals and we haven't had Happy Ghast. Um, why have they give it to phone? If Vibrant Visuals can run on a bloody phone, it can run on Minecraft Switch. Why is Switch always seen as a second class video game console? It's not. If Switch can run if Switch can if Switch can run some certain games, why can't it run Vibrant Visuals? But I think it can, but I think they can't be bothered to give it to the Switch. Um, but also another thing is just it's just the lag. One of the big ones for me is lag. The the Switch. Sorry, what are you talking about? Yes, we were sending pictures then. We'll find out in 6 weeks because of hmm, no, not when it comes out. Yeah, probably. It's the in between console and phone, where the Stream Deck is an in between console. Stream Deck, not Steam Deck recepted. What is the Steam Deck? The Steam Deck is just a. I always get it wrong. I get Steam Deck mixed up with the Elgato Steam Deck, which is just a button thing that you can hop between different. Yeah, but I what the Elgato Steam Deck came before, and it's basically a little thing where you can switch screens on. It's basically a thing where you can switch screens and switch to different cameras. Yeah, so I always mistake the Steam Deck for the Elgato Steam Deck, which was just a different Stream Deck. That's what they. Not that I'm a retarded. Stream Deck, Steam Deck. It's all. What Switch? The thing is, though, Switch is a great console. Switch will be the most popular console ever. Do you think that? Do you think that Decepted? Do you think Switch will be the most popular? Switch will be the most is going to be the most the biggest console ever. Not the Switch 2. I said Nintendo Switch will be the most popular video game console of all time. What do you, Nintendo Switch is only Nintendo Switch's console selling at the moment is just behind Sony because it's portable. It won't sell well because of the price tag. Yeah, yeah. Nintendo Switch will be the most popular video game console of all time because it's only 10 million at the moment. Switch is only 10 million behind PS2. No one has the money for Switch 2. Yeah, Switch 2 is I think the consoles are right. I might buy Switch 2, but then I won't buy it on launch because I don't have the money. Um, yes, I have. I had to buy one because my laptop it should come Tuesday, but because the battery was going stupid, um, I would turn. I'm gonna keep. I am gonna keep my old one. I'm gonna keep my old one because it still runs all right. It's just the battery problem, so I'm gonna keep it as just a backup in case to store my stuff on it. I could have done. Then I was looking at a laptop which is a little bit more powerful. I bought one which is 24 GB RAM. Like, yeah, because I can get it on a little. I could get a little bit of money off it. It come with an Nvidia G4 set, GeForce RTX in it as well. 450. Is that? Yeah, I don't know if it's any good. That's what. Pardon? I not. Hold on. I still got the bookmark. Because I was looking at laptops and I was looking for just one which is powerful. 450. But I was looking at but it's only Intel Core 5. It's only Intel Core 5. Yeah. Have you seen the new Xbox? It's a budget PC and Xbox share. It has Windows or OS as a base. Now you can play PlayStation games on an Xbox. Yeah. What? Yeah, I think someone said this. My lecturer said this, but Xbox is going to announce basically a PC for the next Xbox console. Have you seen the new Xbox though? Yeah, they haven't announced anything to do with it yet, but it's meant to be next year, 2027, because the Xbox Series X was 2020. I think they overpriced on it. In fact, Nintendo Switch 2, I don't think is overpriced. 395 because of inflation. 395 is all right for a console. It's still cheaper than Sony and PlayStation were. It's still cheaper than Sony and PlayStation were. The problem I have with Nintendo is they take too long to do stuff. Nintendo take too long. They should have gone to 4K. They should have gone to try and 4K resolution. They should have done it 5 years earlier. They should have done it 10 years earlier. When 4K came out, they should have made a console in it. But they did it with Thing as well. Nintendo switched to 1080p too late as well. But Nintendo actually, talking of which, Nintendo have a policy of 75%. So 75% of everyone that plays their game must have a 10 it must use 1080p before before they use it. And I think that's wrong. I think they should have done it earlier because that's probably why they're a slower company now. No, he's doing something with the dog. You know the. I'm joking. Should you? Hmm. Um. What am I looking for? A second. Switch. Most. Here it is. The best-selling video game of all time is PlayStation 2, but Nintendo Switch has sold almost 150 million. So it will be Switch eventually. But yeah, anyway, what should we build? I can hear the story, but I'm also trying to read comments as well. Anyway, um, what should we build? Please suggest some build ideas. Well, we're looking for some. I'm just looking for some chickens. Right, we've got another egg. Take that. I swear I put some extra gates in here. Where are they? Okay. There's one there, and then I put two in there. All right. So there is more gates in this pig, in this sheep, in this pig. The old sheep pen. Now the cow. No, now the cow pen, but all those chickens decided to go in there as well. Do we have a random sheep in there as well? No, we don't. What? Yeah, but this laptop should appear. It should have came Tuesday, but it'll appear tomorrow. Yeah. Imagine Survive Alexia and Imagine Survive Alexia and RTX. Jesus. What do you mean your RTX? That's a completely different thing. Can you put enchantments on an Elytra? I have absolutely no idea. Let's go find a good Elytra a minute. Let's go test something. I did have 30 XP levels, but now I have 7 because obviously I died. Let's go test that out. Taxes while you did your accountant. You are your accountant. Well, I live streamed earlier on, but then I gave up because I was knackered. So, thank you to every. This stream's been slower. We after an hour we've only got 96 views, but that's good, you know. But that seems like a skill issue. Oh, hello, Skate Punk. Welcome to the stream. That sounds like a skill issue, Decepted. Decepted has a skill issue. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing today? I'm doing well. How are you? Right, I'm gonna look for this for a second. I'm trying to find. I want to find out. Is there do we have them breaking on any of these? Hey, it was good talking to you. I have to focus on my assignment. Well, I've got to focus on my own assignment too, actually. But I'm putting off doing it, which I probably shouldn't be. That's not good. I'm just being grateful for life and creators such as yourself. Oh, thank you. I'm grateful. I'm sometimes grateful. Um, and sometimes I look at life and go, why me? Why me? Why me? I am joking, everybody. I'm not actually like that. Decepted Decepted might say otherwise because Decepted would probably make a joke about that. Deceptive's just said he's got a massive something. Um, no one can hear Deceptive, which is a good thing. It's I'm just trying to find and breaking. I'm just. Do I think it's a shame that this version can't be? Yeah, to be honest, yeah, I do think it's a shame that this version can't be bought anymore. I prefer. I've got to be honest. I prefer this version over all the others. Let's just try it. I'm just trying to find Unbreaking 3, but I honestly can't find any of it. Uh, let's go and put one of these on. So you can't put. Did I finish this film project? No, I haven't. I haven't started it. In I haven't started it. In the UK, it's the Easter holidays, and a lot of the clown shit decepted. Well, I was going to shoot it this week, but then I suddenly realised that it's currently the Easter holidays, so that's 2 weeks off. That's 2 weeks off. I can't use my 2 weeks off because the assignment's literally during the week. This dissertation assignment's during the week back. But I'm gonna have to try and. Hello, play with Mr. Black 1119. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, I'm gonna have to shoot this in a way because obviously I'm gonna have to notify people. I'll have to notify people that I'm doing this short film, in case because it's obviously the Easter holidays. Um, it's schools are off, so of course, if I go into the woods and film this scene with the clown, um, am I scared? Am I what? How many people are going to be walking in the woods that day? How many people are going to walk past? Because I'm going to have to alert people that I'm shooting it. Because obviously, why does this keep exploding here? This is the second time that's happened. So I haven't got round to shooting it at the moment, but focusing on the dissertation is the assignment. Focusing on writing the dissertation is the job. Hello, IKR, welcome to the stream. But yeah, that is an assignment that I need to do and I need to shoot, but then also I have to try and work around the fact that school children are off and I'm glitching crazy help. I don't think I can help with someone glitching. I'm really nervous about this short film Decepted. Because the clown suit might not fit. It barely fit when I tried it on 4 weeks ago. Yeah, but then if it doesn't fit, I need to. I'll have to do behind the scenes. I want to do I want to set up my camera to do some behind the scenes stuff. I want to use my Canon to do some behind the scenes stuff, and then I'll have to do a thing about how tight the suit is. No, but I would have to do a behind the scenes bit just to show how tight that suit is. Because honestly, I can't wear a shirt underneath it. It's that bad. The clown suit is that tight is because obviously I thought I ordered 2 sizes too big by accident, and when I tried it on, I was like, yeah, this is not gonna fit. This is very tight. So just think how tight it is, everybody. There's no comprehension of how tight it is. So I'm gonna do I'm gonna have to do a behind the scenes thing because just reading something for 2 seconds. There we go. Yeah. How are you topping the leaderboard? Because you're on the leaderboard? What, 2 points in a cup of tea? Two. But they do sing "God Save the Queen," "God Save the King." Sorry, the Queen's dead. Long live the King. Yeah, but Britain is God's country after all, which is why we don't have earthquakes in this country. God, Britain is God's country. Um, you would, isn't it, Decepted? The UK is is God's country, which is why we don't have earthquakes in this country. You wouldn't shut on your own doorstep, would you? Well, saying that, we don't have earthquakes because we're nowhere near a tectonic plate. Because the European and American plates, tectonic plates, meets in the middle of the ocean, thousands of miles away from the nearest. What you do actually no, you do get earthquakes in the UK, but apparently it's when I sit on the floor. Okay, thanks, Decepted. That's nice of you. Nah, it's not me. It's Cam. Fucking hell, when he gets out, it's when he gets out of bed. No, the fucking world shakes. Rumble, rumble, rumble. Oh, he's got out of bed. At least he's awake. Rumble, 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 rumble. I'm just, I'm joking. Rumble, rumble, rumble. You know they do WWE like Rumble in the Jungle. It's just him. He's just there, dressed as a lion. Rumble, rumble, rumble. Do do. Yeah, there we go. What should we do? What should we build? I'm a little bit confused about what we can build. I need to I do remember that Decepted because inadvertently I said that as a. Have you seen have you seen Trump's up to the bloody tariffs again? No, no, no. Trump up the tariffs on China, so China have up theirs to 125 now, 125%. China's just like the don't worry, every other country will deal with it. I swear he's just crashed the mark. I swear he's just crashed the economy of America. It's kind of fun. It is funny. It's like it's watching the world's most powerful nation just go, yeah, all right, let's go. World's biggest economy just deciding we need to. Did you see about Elon Musk did that the other year? He said about oh Tesla stocks are too high, and then he crashed he crashed the bloody stocks. Like, aren't they just doing that with America? Oh, the American economy is too big. Here, see it wipe off 5 trillion. I just don't get make America wealthy again. My dad said to me actually yesterday. My dad said to me, "How My dad said to me yesterday, he went, "How has this man become a successful businessman? He must have had some great advisors because he's an absolute idiot. He's basically just trashed the economy of his own country." Trump, he's trashed their economy. He wiped off something like 5 trillion. What do you? If the 5 trillion does it did exist? It wasn't. I just don't. I don't get tariffs. I just don't understand tariffs in general. No, no, I know. I mean, I know what they are, but then it's stupid. It's an import tax, but then if you tax the imports, they're all the companies that are struggling will just up their prices, and then it's the American people that won't be able to buy their stuff. So really, gradually, it just affects the people. It's the same with a football club. I'm going to use because you're a Man United fan. I'm going to use Man United as an example. When Liverpool, City, Man United, Arsenal, and Tottenham, Chelsea, and tried to go and you know basically when the big six tried to basically break away and form their own super league. This I know, but when they tried to form the Super League the other year, they got fined by the Premier League, and all Man United, Tottenham, Liverpool did was just up their ticket prices and shirt prices. So it meant that fine was paid by the fans. And that's basically what America's done with the tariffs. The people that are going to pay that off, pay for that. The people paying for the price of that will be the American customer themselves. I mean, tariffs used to be useful but that was when you didn't know whether your neighbor was going to invade you. You didn't know back in the day. You didn't know if your neighbor was just going to invade you because obviously there is no there is no profit in peace, and that's 100% true, guys. There is no profit in peace. If you go to war, you've got to build more weapons. You're getting money in. There is no profit in peace. There was a military general in World War I. He generally believed that war was our natural state and the peace was the bit in the middle. This was it. That was it. Name Erich Ludendorff. He was a German general during World War II. Jordan Pickford's not a shit goalkeeper. This is it. Um, I didn't. Hmm. I, I'm just gonna quickly check a notification, guys. Who was the guy that said that war is our natural state? Ah, this was it. Total War. Yeah, Erich Ludendorff, military theory. He argued that a nation's entire physical and moral resources should remain forever post-mobilization, and he believed peace was a merely interval of a chain of never-ending wars. That was it. But yeah, he believed that war was He believed that war was the natural state of humanity, and that peace was only Erich Ludendorff, he was a German general during the war, but he generally believed that he wrote a book and he believed that war was humanity's natural state and peace was just a little process in between. He basically believed that war was the only way. Yeah. Thank you to everyone that's watched this stream tonight. We're going to continue on. We're going to build some stuff. What should we build? I've got some. I should build the realm, should I? How am I going to build the realm? Oh, I built you a house on here the other day, actually. I built you like a realm style house. Um, I built you a realm style here. Right. I've just dropped my Joy-Con. It's gone between my legs. There we go. And I've somehow walked in a maze. That's incredible. How do I do that? I literally dropped my remote and went in there. Um, everybody in the live stream, everyone in the live stream right now, please comments. Can we hit 3,000? Can we hit 3,400 by the end of this month? Comment either yes or no. Sorry, a minute. I got an itchy chin. Sorry, everyone. I got an itchy chin. Whew. I'm gonna put a poll up on Discord. Let's put a poll up. General. Pardon? I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything to you. I just put a poll up on Discord. Can we hit 5,400 by the end of April? It's got 2 weeks to go. Well, it said 2 weeks. Now it's changed to 13 days. What should we build, eh? I honestly have no idea what we're doing. I have no idea what I'm doing. I have no idea who I am, who I am. I have no idea who I am, who I am. I have no idea who I am, who I am. Whoa, 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 whoa. I've just fallen off the hill, off the hill, off the hill. I've just fallen off the hill, off the hill. La 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 la. Do 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 do. I say, bum 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 bum. Bum ba ba bum ba ba. I say. I'm going to end this stream now, everybody. So thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.